can do something, mute. Otherwise, what happens if I don't mute? If you cough, then you appear on this video. If you breathe, you appear on this video, which happens. All right, so right leg is forward. And there you are. You've been here for a little while going, oh my goodness, did she switch yet? We're going to switch, okay? Left foot forward, right foot back. And pause. And stretch. I hope when you practice, your home environment feels warm, or you're wearing extra layers to stay warm on these cooler days, on these winter days. Yeah, breathing in. Exhale. And I think, if you want to light candles for your practice, that's beautiful too. Whatever you want to do that makes you feel really comfortable. And then release, and let's bring feet together. Take your hands to your elbows. Now you can soften your knees. You can really soften your knees. I want you to feel a wonderful stretch to your low back. And breathe. Deep breath in and exhale. Oh, I got blocks here. I got my elbows on the blocks. You could stack your blocks. You might say, wow, that's kind of cool. Your head is on the block. I've seen Vester do that with quite a few blocks. Yeah. And then we're going to reach up and extend, swing the arms up into the air, palms touch, and hands to heart center. Good. All right, so we're going to take the heels in, turn the toes out, drop down, push your knees back, and shift. Side, side. So my hope in today's class is, we'll do some work on our backs. I always like doing that. I just want to start with standing, but we'll do some work on our backs. And then we'll come back to the blocks and have that theme, have block, will travel. Maybe that sounds familiar to you. And then push up. Good. Feet are squared. Hands are onto your thighs. You're going to push your thighs back. Come forward, and then walk your hands forward. And stretch, lengthen your spine. Create space between the spinal bones. Release your neck. Breath in. And exhale. Keep your right hand where it is, and it might be on a block, it might be your fingertips down, and your left hand reaches maybe for your right knee, calf muscle, or ankle, and twist, and breathe. And then left hand. So again, could be fingertips, could be palm down. Right hand goes under the arm, and you're reaching for your knee or your ankle. Lower your head, elongate. This is a wonderful twist because your spine is long. And as we proceed today, I'll mention some of these beautiful ideas that were expressed in the documentary that Rick and I watched last night, Heal. And we're going to watch it again and again. I was like, first thing I was going to say it, and he said, we need to watch that again. I said, yeah, it's just it's so packed with information and ideas that you really fully want to digest. Come on out and bend your knees. Bring your hands onto your thighs and press up. And then heels and toes and heels and toes, heels and toes. Good. All right. So we're coming to a squat, and sometimes you just have to modify for various reasons. So you can be here modifying. Let's all modify. I'll tell you why. Because I'd like to work with this one for you. So if you have a block, left hand is down, right arm is up. That's modified, right? And lower. And then you would take your block the other way. Hand is down, your knees are bent, and the other arm comes up, swing up. So the idea is to try to get into your upper thoracic, your upper back, and come down. You're going to repeat that, or now you go into a deeper squat. And probably if you're in deeper squat, you don't need a block. Take your arm up, extend, breathe. Maybe your heels come up. If you can, anchor down and lower. And the other way, reach up, extend. Good. Stretch and lower. And then let's come all the way up. Good work. Okay. So another one we'll work at right now is just to take your arms out to the side, just wrap, and we're stretching into the shoulders. Lift the elbows, reach up, bend the knees, drop down, and lower your head. Maybe your right middle finger touches down, you straighten your legs, bend the knees again, and come up. Inhale. Let's do that one more time. Same way. Drop down and straighten. Let the back of your neck release. Bend the knees. Come up and lift your elbows up. And release. Other side. The other arm. Left arm over the other. Wrap. Lift the elbows up. Bend the knees, drop down, lower, straighten your legs, breathe, bend the knees, drop down. Let's lift up. Take your elbows up high. Second one, bend the knees a lot, and then straighten your legs. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Bend the knees, come on up. Lift. Reach and unwind. So you could easily clasp hands behind your back, or I really like making the loop. It kind of makes a difference. You've done the other before, and so clasping hands or holding the strap, that's fine. But when you make a loop, I think it works differently, and I know why. I'll explain that. So you don't need a lot of space, and it's going to be behind your back at your wrists. Okay, it should be that it's really tight because you're pushing out against the hands, and you're going to drop your shoulders down, look up. Your feet can be apart. Bend your knees as you come into your forward fold. Relax your neck. Now start to straighten. Take your arms away from your back. And, for some doesn't go very far. Others take the arms straight up. That's great. And some go up further. So your hands are spread wide if you have the loop. This definitely helps to open up the heart center. It's a different opening when you have a loop because you can push out. You don't have to do a grip action with your hands. So energetically speaking, this helps to release heart center as energy. Bend the knees and come up. And to me, that's really interesting. I mean, we do that. We have to hold on to things. I still have I'll go in and do a mute. Sometimes someone comes in a little later. Like, Dawn, you're so cute. Dawn, I hear you. Okay, but not anymore. You're off now. Okay. The best one I overheard, let's come to sitting. The best one I overheard, it wasn't here. I won't say who did it either. I was teaching, and I silenced, everyone's like mute, and I'm teaching, and someone came on late, right? So their video was on, their audio was on, so I didn't turn them off. I didn't even know they had joined. And then I heard his spouse or wife, I don't know, his partner, came in and said something. He's like, "I'm doing yoga." It was so funny. It was really like, "I'm doing yoga." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." So I turned him, and we were all sort of cracking up. And he didn't realize that we heard him. It was funny. It was funny. I don't know if you're laughing with me or not, but it was hysterical. And reach up. You're supposed to say, "I'm doing yoga," instead of, "I'm." Yeah, it was funny. Reach up and over. We are real. We are human. Breathe in. Exhale. None of us are beyond agitation, are we? elbow dropping down, and breathe. Good. Woo, that feels so good today. And then we're going to release, and we'll do it the other way. So if you want to recross, that also sometimes makes the difference. You're going to come up and over, reaching through the fingertips. The sitting bones want to come up, so drop down and breathe. Breathe in. Exhale. Beautiful. And then release. And we have half spinal twist. So let's say this is my right leg. We're going to say right leg over the other. If that doesn't work for you, straighten your lower leg, okay? And then sitting bones are down. So you're going to, I'll just turn around this way. Take your left arm up in the air. Inhale. Exhale, elbow across knee, and twist. And what I will say about online yoga, I mean, if the audio is good, like it is, all right, I think people hear more. I think, like, I don't know what it is, but people hear everything that I say, like the words, because people will go, you know, like I think in class sometimes, because there's people around, I have no idea what it is. Maybe because I'm walking around, I don't have a mic, I turn my head, you might not hear something. We go into Shavasana, my voice becomes soft, you may not hear it all. But something about online yoga, you really hear the cues, the breathing guidance, the Shavasana visualization. It's nice, it's good. I hope that's the case for everyone. I believe it is. Release, come out. You're going to extend the legs. And then from here, it could be tabletop, okay? If some of you will go into bridge, if this is too much for your wrists. Draw in, take a breath in, prepare. Don't come into it, come into it all stuck because you can't adjust later. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift up. And tilt your head back. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And lower. Good. We have another side twist, okay? So it's your left leg that comes over the other. If it's too much on your lower leg, straighten it. And right arm up into the air. Make sure your left foot is in contact with the mat as best as you can. Exhale as you twist. Move from your navel, from your heart center, and breathe. Deep breath in. Exhale. As you're holding the pose, I'm going to turn my heat off. It's got really warm in here. Yeah. And then we're going to come out. So we're coming onto our backs because I think there's a lot of movements that I'd like to do on our backs. And again, I'm still thinking of, I think of sometimes the warm-ups go on for a while, you know, so you can kind of think of this as you're warming up, so you go even deeper with the blocks later. So you're pressing up into bridge. And as you press into bridge, you know, if you really like that strap, you could have it around your wrists or clasp hands. That's what we usually do, tuck shoulders underneath. So let's focus on the mind. Quieting the mind. Bringing ourselves into the meditative form of our practice. Focused on breathing, sensation that we feel as we move into the asanas. Let's focus on our breath. So let's slow the breathing down. Slow down the inhalation. Slow down the exhalation. We're going to come out, and those two endeavors, we'll say, quieting the mind and slowing down the breath, is for the whole session, not just bridge, okay? So now I'm holding my feet, happy baby, and I'm thinking about clearing the mind, being filled with the sensation of this pretty simple pose, and slowing down the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Do you tend to practice with your eyes open or closed? And either way, it's not like there's a right or a wrong. There are lots of traditions. Every once in a while, I'll say, have your eyes open, especially inverted pose, head lower than heart, so you don't get dizzy. And sometimes we really do close our eyes, like in mountain. Let's take soles of the feet together. Hands are onto the belly. And again, we're thinking about the clearing of the mind and slowing down your breath. So we are saying goodbye to fight or flight. We're saying goodbye to stress. That's like the root of all dis-ease and disease. So we're saying goodbye to that again and again and again because it makes its way in. And our daily practice, clearing the mind, focusing on the breath, movement, allows us to reestablish an equilibrium. Let's interlace fingers, press palms up. And we're working at deepening, slowing down the breath. We are working on turning on the relax and renew response. Relax and renew response. Turning on the parasympathetic nervous system so we can relax and renew and, heal. If there's, your body's constantly working overtime to keep you healthy. Let's release the arms and let's come to windshield. Okay, so knees go right, head turns left. Back and forth. Back and forth. Good. And then finally, we'll work on, you may need a strap as you take left hand to right foot, pushing up through the heel. And we're going to come across. So you're going over into this twist, but also leg stretch. If you want to make it easier, your knee is bent. Okay, but if you can, your leg is straightened, it's fine to use a strap. Shoulder is down. Right shoulder is down. So the documentary last night called Heal, H-E-A-L, talked about, we bathe every day, right? Hopefully we bathe every day. We shower or we take a bath or whatever. Okay, we bathe every day. We clean, in other words, we purify our bodies. On the same level, we should be purifying our minds every day. And this is a super, it's like a huge key to health. It's super important to staying healthy. Cleansing the mind. So we cleanse the body, the external body, right, with a shower, with a bath. We cleanse the mind with meditation. And it could be mindfulness. It could be called meditation in motion, like yoga. It could be sitting on your mat. It could be walking in the park or in the forest, clearing your mind, being completely present. So purification of the mind, what we call kriya in yoga, is super important. Hug your knee to chest. Lift your head and breathe. And that's what we're doing right now. It's like it's a shower for the brain, for the mind. Okay, so let's go ahead and go the other side. Right hand, left foot, stretching. And these are all really good keys to health. And also explains why we feel so good after the yoga practice. Because we've just cleansed, purified the mind, you purify your consciousness. Go ahead and turn your head to the left. Bring your left shoulder down. Push out through the left heel and breathe. Another thing that happens, pituitary gland is secreting glands into the bloodstream. Secreting hormones into the bloodstream. One of those hormones is relaxin, which allows us to relax and which makes your body a little more supple, a little more relaxed, less rigid. Breathe in, exhale, and that is happening this very moment as we slow down our breathing. As we intentionally clear the mind. Let's come out, hug your knee to chest, and breathe. And from here, we're going to come up. Now, we're coming up, and we're coming right to child's pose. Take a moment, head is down, and breathe. You're going to round into the back and come up. Arch. You're going to do that a few times. Back, child's pose, and up. And back, and up. Two more. Back, and up. And curl toes under if you can. Bring your knees up, and some of you are in plank, I know, and some are arching. Breathing in. Exhale, and then we'll press back to downward facing dog. So, yeah, our classes have a blend of strength and stretch aspects, right? So you're going to see how this next one works. I think I can just guide you through. You may have to look at the screen, but your right leg comes up into the air. And then bend your right knee, and imagine you're taking knee to nose, and you're going to shift your shoulders forward so your wrist and shoulders are in one line. And then from there, you're going to drop your knee down. Maybe it'll touch the mat, and then you're going to pull it back up. So use your core for that. Drop the knee down. We're going to do two more. And lift up. Work with the breathing. Inhale, drop the knee down. Exhale, pull up. Come all the way back to downward facing dog. If you need to rest it out, go ahead, or come to the second side. Left leg up, and left knee to nose. Shift your weight forward. Everything is stacked over your arms, right? And then you're going to drop the knee down. I'm barely touching. And use your core to tuck in. Woo! Knee down. Exhale. Pull in, tuck your belly in. Last one, inhale, knee down. Exhale, tuck in. Straighten the legs, good work. We're going to go wide with the feet. Make your way back, back, back. And take your hands to elbows, good. All your weight is off your elbows here. And breathe. Going to bend the knees. Come on up. And take your feet together, reaching the arms up. Let's go to a side bend movement, so you're reaching for your wrist. Yep, breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Either way, holding the wrist, come across. Breath in. Exhale. Nice side bend movements. And release. We're going to put our blocks in place at the front of the mat. It might be that you have one, or maybe you've got your double, your set. And there we go. All right. I wondered if it's hard to get, I suppose online it's not so hard. It's really hard to get weights these days, like to buy weights, because that's the kind of thing you don't want to have shipped to you. And I was having a heck of a time locating them. My friend located some weights for me, so that was early on when everybody was like accoutring their home gyms. Okay, alrighty. So here we are. We're doing sun salutation. Let's start here. I know I'm a little close. My head is being trimmed. Okay. No head trimming allowed. Okay, so hands are to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Arch back. Look up. Stretching the front of your body. Back of your body feels strong. And then lower. Bend the knees. Lower. Of course, you can do this without blocks. And straighten your legs if you can. Lower your head and breathe. Extend. Look ahead of you. Just flatten the back. Good. And then fold in again. Right foot steps back. And as you're here, your back hip is stretching. These are sun salutations. Slight difference because I want to try to use the blocks on them. And, yep, say hello to your hip flexor. And then back heel is down. I'm going to leave the blocks be and bring your arms up. Breathing in. So at first I touch, then I'm going to separate and look up at the space you create. See if you can fine-tune this 90-degree bend at the left knee. Back little toe, right little toe connected to the mat. Can you move your little toe? Okay. Come down. And then from here, so if your blocks are firm, this works. The heel of the hand is going to be at the very edge of the mat, of the block, and I'm going to shift back and just make sure they don't slip at all, and press back to downward facing dog. Breathing in. Exhale. Come forward to plank. So again, my blocks are working for me. These are really strong, but if you have like Meredith, you might have the black foam blocks. They don't work so well because it's too soft on your wrist. It's too much. And so breathing in, at least that's my idea. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they work for you. And then you're going to take one leg up, and one leg down, and one leg up, one leg down. Some of you are going to stay there. Many are going to drop down, about halfway down, and then press up into upward facing dog. You could extend your feet, look up, or look ahead of you, and then knees down. And press back. Now, as you press back, really release your wrists. I'm still hanging on to the block, like my hands are gripping the far edge of the block, and head is down. Deep breath in. Exhale. Downward facing dog again. Now, the cool thing about the blocks is, well, your heels are probably going to come down more readily. Your right leg will swing up into the air. Look at the space between blocks and bring your foot there. That makes it so much easier, having blocks. Breathing in, stretch your back hip flexor, left hip flexor. Breathing in. Exhale. A lot of tension and stress will settle into hip flexors. Why? Because they are the first muscles to respond to stress. They're getting you ready to fight or flight. So your hip flexors tighten up, ready for action. Even if the stress doesn't involve running away. Sometimes the stress is like financial stress or whatever it is, COVID stress, family members having COVID, It's this is the place that will carry tension quickly. So heel down, and we can stretch it out through yoga. We can work it out and directly access the parasympathetic nervous system. Reach, inhale. Hands are to heart center. Lower and step forward. Once you step forward, legs are together, lower your head, breathe. Look ahead of you. Exhale, fold in. Soften the knees, sweep the arms up, reach up, lift, arch back, and hands to heart center. I'm going to use the blocks again. Less talk on my part. We're going to really watch how we can slow the breathing down and clear the mind. Blocks or no blocks, I'm going to use them. Reach up. Soften knees, come forward. Look ahead of you. Left foot back. Low lunge. Back heel down. Warrior one. Downward facing dog. Plank position. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana and press up. Your knees can come down if you like. Upward facing dog. Or raising your knees, breathe in. Exhale, knees down again, and press back, child's pose. Downward facing dog. Left leg will swing up. Look at your hands, swing your foot forward, low lunge. Back heel down, reach up. Hands are to heart, coming to the front of your mat, forward fold. Feet are together. Look ahead of you and fold in. Soften the knees, reach the arms up, sweep the arms up, look back. Good. And hands to heart center. Good work. So here we go. And this is the have mat will travel. Like, I just made that up. That's not like it's not a technical term. It's the fun, there's literary license, there's yoga license, I guess. Alrighty. So basically, what the blocks do, this can be done without, but with the blocks, you could jump. You could actually do these little fancy little jumps. If you don't like that, you don't have to do them, okay? So I have my blocks on the middle height, and what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to add, there's a lot of different ones you'll do. We're going to add a twist. So right hand stays down, left arm comes up, and breathe. Deep breath in, and exhale. Come out, jump, switch, jump, jump, switch, okay? And the other arm comes up. So I'm trying to really have that 90-degree bend at my right knee as I twist. Breath in, exhale. Breathing in, exhale. Release, and 1, 2, 3. Jump, switch, back knee comes down. So this is where you might need your blanket. I'm going to do without a blanket today. And we come up into crescent moon. Anjali Asana, crescent moon. Reaching the arms up, lift, arch back. So we'll just see how we go here. Usually I use a blanket. So we're going to bend your back knee and say hello to your quads. Breathing in. Exhale. From here, take your left block and place it under your left buttock, so you're going to sit back. And you might say, oh, no, I need more blocks. Okay. For some, so basically the block is under the straight leg, the straight leg's glute. And then maybe you go back, because for some, that's it. That's a deep, deep stretch. Some can go back further. Others can do this without a block, okay? I'm not going to use a block, and I'm going to come back. We'll do second side later. If you want to do both Supta Virasana, both knees, that's fine. It's called the reclining hero. The hero reclines, okay? And breathe. See what is possible. Some are sitting up. Some, you just have to be careful of your knee. You have two fantastic knees, maybe not so fantastic knees, and you have to really baby them. Breathe in. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. We're going to make our way up. If you had your block, take it with you, coming forward again. And we're going to jump, switch, or walk switch. 1, 2, 3. Back knee is down, back toes extended. We're going to reach the arms up, crescent moon. Lift, arch back, and breathe. Going to come out, and we're going to start to sit back. So again, you could prepare it, having your block in place under the buttock of the straight leg. Maybe that's it for you. Or maybe you lean back, it's the left quad stretch, and maybe you don't need the block, okay? And you're coming back. And maybe even coming all the way back. Breathe in. Do what you did on the first side. Breathing in. Exhale. And breath in. And exhale. Remember, this is about slowing down the breathing. So the pituitary gland can start to really, secrete hormones that are such as serotonin and the relaxin, oxytocin, dopamine, all of those four involved in this relaxation process produced by the brain when you give it ample opportunity. All right, so such as we do in our yoga practice. Let's switch. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, switch it up. Okay, so the back heel is going to come down, and when it comes down, if you have blocks, go ahead and take them with you. And you're coming to warrior 2. Make your arms super strong, and see if your arms could be look and see are they even. And then nice 90-degree bend at the left knee. And look and breathe and feel Atlian, Herculean, I don't know how to say it. In your strength. Breathe in. Exhale. Herculean, that's it. Good. Nice. So you're just bending a little more. This is about right now is when you're like, wait a minute, how long are we going to hold this? Let's hold it for another breath. Slow breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Retract the arms. Okay, we're going to come over and then walking that left foot a little more to the left and switch. I'll just turn around. So you'll switch. And most of you won't see the screen anymore because of the way we'll work. But I turned. And extending. So you're adjusting Breathing, you're going to look at your arms and the blocks. The blocks don't weigh much, but all of a sudden, after a while, they start feeling like you got 10 pounds in each hand. But you're going to hold, you're going to involve your back muscles, sharpen the right angle, bend at the right knee, and breathe. Retract the arms, lower. We're done with them. So you're going to bring the blocks to the side and come back to downward facing dog and stretch. So it might be that you have to come onto your back and thread the needle if pigeon doesn't work for you, or one leg. We'll do both sides. One leg comes up, one knee forward. Reach up, extend. Maybe you'll bend your back knee, stretch into the quad. Oh, who knows? Maybe you can reach for the back leg and breathe. And come down. Onto the elbows. Maybe your blocks are handy and you like to rest your forehead onto the block. And breathe. Just allowing your hip to release. There's that cleansing, purification of the mind. And it's when you clear the mind that your body is flooded with these good hormones associated with relaxation and renewal. Let's come up and let's reverse. Okay, so some of you are on your backs and it's easier transition, right? Or you're coming back and then you can swing the other leg and bring your knee forward. And taking a moment, lowering your elbows and breathe. You go into the intensity of the pose. You go into the stretch of the pose. Be completely present and accepting this moment. We're going to start to come out. Now, all of us are going to be coming up to standing, okay? So you're going to go back. If you're in downward facing dog, maybe you have it in you to walk or spring forward, okay? And then eventually all of us will make our way up to standing. Good work, okay. So from standing is nice hip work. Some have to hold on to something. It's this circle. And what I would say is, I know it sounds funny, but, a lot of times we'll hold on to a wall. And I think, how do you graduate from the wall to not having a wall? And one idea is to have a hiking pole, like your hiking pole is really nice because it's not 100% solid. You still have to, push into it. Golf clubs work as well. You're laughing. You got to be clever with these things. Broomsticks work, okay? Let's do the other side. and then eventually not needing one. That's the whole idea, is to wean yourself away from the wall. Good. It's really nice to get that full range of motion. And then the one where right foot is sweeping the floor, and I'm really trying to hold steady and think when the leg goes back, it's like a curtsy. I mean, I'm not bending into the curtsy, but yeah. So we got the men doing the curtsy. That's great. There must be a male curtsy, right? I don't know. No, they do it differently. What do I know? Okay. And then, now your foot is above the floor, and the standing leg's like, oh, you're kidding. It's getting a little tired. And now you're going to go whoop up and down. Swoop up and down. You can even make different sounds for that. Whoop. Yeah, that's the harder one, is up and down. All right. Go to the other side. So this is all about strengthening, right? So it was strengthening the standing leg. Now you're going to strengthen the leg that's been moving. So go back and forward and back. And the foot sweeps the floor. The leg's tired, just like, all right. And now the foot glides across the floor. This is when you realize, like, because this ankle was injured years ago. I was 14 years old, and it always talks to me when I do. You know, I mean, it's fine. I can balance everything, but I'm always have that memory of how I did it, when I did it, the day I did it, how old I was. You know, like, and it's always been like a little fragile as a result. Up and over. And so your body tells you stories, right? So you notice it, and you let it go. You notice it. You notice, standing leg's tired, and you let it go. Be with it. It's fine. Up. Good. And release. Excellent. So that prepared us for, we're going into tree to half moon. Tree to half moon. So normally I would just like be at the front of my mat, tree to half moon. But I'll move when the time comes. And you want to set up a block if you use it. So let's do tree. These are the last of the standing. Tree. And you're ready. Not just your physical body, but your mindset is ready to be present, to be a fabulous tree, right? Breathe in. Exhale. Ever-present tree. Half moon. That's when I do. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. And then you bend your standing leg. You reach for a block or the floor. Then you open it out. The ankle in the air is flexed. And your arm coming up in the air, and breathe. All right, and then it always ends with a squat. So you can modify your squat or come all the way down, stretch out your back. The squat is like, it's like a gift. It's like dessert. How's that? Breathing in. Exhale. And come on up. And we have second side. So, starting out, the other leg comes up, and we got our tree. If I come off my mat, you'll actually see my arms. More or less. Breathing in. And exhale. and half moon. So your half moon, your right leg is the standing leg, or the other leg, right? And you're coming over. You'll know if you're doing the same side twice. That's what I say. And especially in half moon, you'll know. And extend, pushing out through the heel, and breathe. And we're coming to a squat. So do the squat the way it works for you, for your unique body, and breathe. Yep, we are, some of you are like just a little drop down from the mat. Extending the legs, we're going to come right onto the backs. Now, really, I'm serious about it's time to either gift yourself all your little props that you sort of haven't had. Maybe you're well accoutred, but maybe this is time to get the bolster you've wanted. And you deserve it. They're not cheap, but it's like you'll just need one for life. I think they last a long, long time. I've had these about 25 years, and they look brand new. And I've used them, and used them retreats, and anyways. They're durable. Breathe in, have your palms facing up. Exhale. Find yourself in this beautiful frame of mind where you are quiet, where your mind is still. And can you sense this purification of the mind that has taken place this last hour? Can you sense this purification, a cleanse, a purification of your consciousness? When you meditate, you release good hormones. You release these hormones, or you can call them beneficial sort of juices that calm your body and quiet the mind. That slow down your breathing. So at some point, you feel unshakable. You feel complete peace. You feel that there are chemical changes within you. It's measurable. It's tangible. See yourself in a beautiful setting of nature, whatever it is that comes to mind, be it a forest, one of our own emerald forests, or a favorite park, the ocean, the sound, a desert, prairie, whatever it is. I want you to see in this visualization, I just want you to see yourself in this beautiful setting. It is a setting that speaks to your spirit, speaks to your soul. It's a setting that makes you want to take a long, deep, slow breath in, and an equally long, if not longer, slow exhalation. I would like you in this special place in your visualization to feel deeply connected. I imagine you chose this place because it makes you feel peaceful, calm, happy. It makes you feel rooted to the earth, connected to the land, to yourself. And then just slowly we'll deepen our breathing. We're starting to move our hands, our feet. And when you're ready, you'll roll to one side and you'll take your time getting there. You'll eventually make your way to sitting and you'll turn your audio back on. I can mute you, but I can't unmute you.